3FC 17, Cody Wynn here right now, joined with Dustin Diablo Walden as he gets set to take on Kenny Thompson Jr., the main event of 3FC 17 this Saturday in Pigeon Forge. Dustin, thanks for joining us. First things first, how's training going? Are you training still at your own gym at D Evil Precision MMA in Johnson City?
Honestly, I've been mostly here. I've trained a couple other. I had a couple of days I spent down with Tim Stout and the Moab Fighting Concepts team down in Noonan, down in Atlanta. And then I spent some time up here training with Casey Oxendine, one of my original coaches. And other than that, I've been spending time at the gym with my guys. You know, I got a good group of guys I train with, like Ian Boxhorn, Adam Townsend, a bunch of pros, and they're top level. So getting some solid training in everywhere, man.
You know, with you being like a full-time head coach now, you're working with so many different guys, do you think that'll change the way you go into a fight as a fighter?
Honestly, I think now, like, the level that the guys are at that I'm training with is definitely going to help me. Whereas a couple of years ago when I was just opening the gym and I took my last fight, I feel like the guys I was training with were still learning. They were still coming up and, you know, just kind of they weren't even had their debut fights yet, man. They were still trying to make a name for themselves. But now some of these guys 2 years later are pros or top-level amateurs, and, you know, these guys are pushing me every day and making me a better fighter. Not only am I helping these guys, but they're pushing me to the max, man, and making me, you know, feel like I've never felt before, like I can do things I've never been able to do before. And I want to go out and Saturday night showcase what these kids have helped me do.
You know, you're coming off a really long hiatus. Do you think that'll affect the way you fight in any way, or since you're always in the gym anyways, do you think that it'll look like you've been a regular fighter?
You know, we'll see Saturday. I don't really feel like I want to have any ring rust. I feel like, you know, I've prepared enough for this fight. I know how to fight. I've been fighting long enough, and, you know, some guys take a lot of time off, and most of the time when you hear guys, they haven't fought in 2.5 years, they also haven't really trained in 2.5 years. But since my last fight, I've been in the gym more than I probably was before I took my last fight. And, you know, I think that's going to show in this next fight come Saturday. And I'm going to be ready, man. Like, I spend 6 to 8 hours in the gym every day, you know, and I have for the last 2.5 years. You know, so, you know, not just sitting on the couch, not doing anything. I mean, I'm in there every day, you know, so I don't think that ring rust is going to matter, because you step into the cage, and fighting, to me, I don't perform well or as well in the gym as I do during the fight, and I really think that I thrive off the energy, and I really get into it, man. So come fight day, I'm a totally different animal, and, you know, I'm just excited to get back in there. I think the whole reason I'm fighting is because I missed it, you know. I missed that feeling of that's the top that I want to get, you know what I'm saying, for 15 minutes. I've got to go out and do my best and entertain the crowd, and that's what I'm going to do.
What's your thoughts on your opponent, Kenny Thompson Jr.? A lot of people around here, you know, haven't heard of him or don't know much about him. You know, have you seen any of his fights, or, you know, what's your thoughts about him?
You know, when the fight was approached, I did my own little, you know, scouting report on the fighter, like I do every fight I take. And most of my career, I've been fighting guys that were like 3, 4, 5, 6 inches shorter than me, and wrestling based, and, you know, always kind of, you know, tried to make it a boring fight for me. And, you know, this kid, he's very, you know, he's tall, he's lanky, he's built a lot like me, and he's very explosive, and he likes to bring it. And he's a good kid, you know. I don't have anything negative to say about him, and, you know, I haven't this whole camp. And I took this fight because it's definitely going to be an exciting fight. He makes for, you know, I think I make for an exciting fighter, and if somebody fights like me and has the same similar style, I mean, why wouldn't it make for a good fight? So, you know, I definitely want to, I don't have anything negative to say about Kenny Thompson, and looking forward to meeting the kid and having a good fight with him, and, you know, going out and putting on a show for the fans and giving them what they pay $30 to come see, you know.
This is one of the biggest questions that a lot of people have been wanting to ask you. You know, you got your own gym now. You're working with a lot of top guys. Are you back in MMA, or is this a one-time deal where you just want to kind of get back in there and fight again, or do you want to come back and be a regular fighter?
Man, you know, for a long time, and I just really have gotten into the coaching aspect, and I love watching guys get better and watching just anybody that trains under me, they just improve, and that's something that I'm very passionate about. And, fighting, I can't say that I'm not passionate about it. It's something I love to do, and when I did it when I was younger, I was very hungry and very eager to, get to the top and be noticed as I wanted to be the first guy in this area to be in the UFC, and that was always something that I wanted, and I had big dreams, and just like everybody else does when they start out in the sport. But, 10 years into it, I'm 29 years old, and I'm seeing the level of guys that's coming into the gym and how hard, and I'm seeing how hard, and I'm remembering how hard it is to stay on top and to stay active and to want to be in the gym every day and to diet and cut the weight and, fight 3, 4, 5 times a year. And honestly, I don't really feel like that's me this go around. I don't really feel like I'm trying to make a big comeback or, stake my claim as one of the top guys in this area and continue on, it's never, I'm not going to say never, but this fight I approached in more of, I want to have an exciting fight, man, and I want to go out and test the skills, and I've been training hard, and, I want to go out and I want to perform, and a lot of people have asked me when I'm going to fight again and why not fight again, since I've got all these guys that are training with me, and, that's a good question. Why not? So I'm going to go out and see what happens after this fight, and, maybe it might light a fire under my butt and make me want to step back up and do it again and make another run for it. But right now I just, I think I'm going to go back and coach a little more and get back into that for the next couple months, because I've got some guys that are going to get ready for some big shows coming up this summer, and I don't want to focus on anything but them after this fight, because they've, out of respect for me and love for me, they've let me be selfish for the last 2 months and focus solely on what I need for this fight. So I think I'm going to go back and after this one, step back in the gym on Monday and get back to coaching and getting back to putting these guys through a camp and continue on that we've started for this one, and get them better. And then after that, we'll talk, man. I mean, I never say never, but right now I'm not looking past Kenny Thompson Saturday, June the 1st.
The sport has grown so much in 2 years, a bunch of new fans, especially in this area. Fans who've never seen Dustin Diablo Walden fight, explain kind of your fighting style and what they can expect to see on Saturday.
I've always been one of those guys that, I step in the cage, I usually dedicate at least no less than 6 to 8 weeks to a fight, and not once have I ever stepped in a cage and never at least wanted to win every second of the fight, and I think everybody that's ever seen me fight knows that I give everything I've got, and I try to make it exciting, from the entrance to the to walking out of the cage after the fight, win or lose. I try to make everybody leave feeling like they at least got their money's worth out of coming to watch me fight. And I've got people that support me. I've got people that probably don't support me, but everybody, whatever their opinion may be, can never say that they've never been entertained at least from watching one of my fights. So I feel like I've always tried to do exciting stuff, and I've always been very just willing to throw down, and that's part of the sport that I love. I love watching guys that just lay it all on the line and just want to end the fight every second of the fight. So that's how I feel about it. I feel like everybody that comes out to support a show and pays $25, $30 for a card, they sometimes the fights aren't always exciting, but somebody's got to end the show off right, So that's why they call on me.
Final question. I talked to Kenny Thompson. He said he's comfortable no matter where the fight takes place. I know you've trained for every portion of what could happen in this fight. How, in your mind, do you see this fight ending on June 1st?
I'm prepared to go 30 minutes. This kid wants to go a couple extra rounds, but wherever the fight goes, just like he is, I'm just as comfortable. I've been in every position you could possibly think of, and I'm not going to make any arrogant or any cocky descriptions of the fight. I'm just ready to throw down from round 1 second in, to round 3, 14 minutes and 59 seconds into the fight. I'm ready to fight.
All right, Dustin, thanks for joining us, and you can see Dustin in action this Saturday night versus Kenny Thompson Jr., 3FC 17 main event. Thanks, Dustin.
All right, thanks.